You are listening to the Business Leadership Podcast with Edwin Frondozo.
Good morning. I'm Paul Newton, Creative Director of the Future Narrator miniseries, and I'm joined by Edwin Frondozo, host of the Business Leadership Podcast. We are recording live at Web Summit Vancouver 2025, and we're exploring how today's leaders shape the future, not just through strategy, but through story. We believe that a strong point of view is what inspires communities, builds movements, and cuts through the noise in uncertain times. So let's dive into this conversation. Today's guest has been building with AI long before it became a buzzword, and he's still ahead of the curve. Maxime Guilbot is founder and CEO of Ekohe, a global consulting agency delivering AI-powered digital solutions across 5 continents. With over 20 years of experience in artificial intelligence and digital transformation, Maxime has helped organizations from startups to global brands unlock the power of their data, drive innovation, and solve real-world challenges. A French software engineer by training, Maxime holds dual master's degrees in artificial intelligence and engineering, and has lived and worked in Shanghai and Tokyo, where he has been based since 2016. His work spans everything from the FIFA World Cup to fintech and healthcare, all driven by the belief that AI is the differentiator between companies that adapt and those that lead.
Welcome to the Business Leadership Podcast, Maxime. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Really excited to get into this. But first off, we're here at Web Summit Vancouver. I'd love to hear how you're enjoying it, how impactful it is, and maybe one thing that you're learning from the floor.
It's an amazing venue. Very good to have Web Summit Vancouver. It's very exciting. A lot of startups, very young startups. Just showcasing innovation is really cool.
Amazing. Yeah, it's really, and we're really enjoying here and meeting folks like yourself as well. Just to get started, Maxime, can you tell me about Ekohe and the problem you are solving in AI-driven digital transformation and the real-world business applications?
Yeah, so a big topic, but what we have seen through the technological transformation is a wave of businesses dying and new wave of businesses coming up. And with AI is going to be even more brutal. And one of our missions is to help companies accelerate that transformation. So actually make sure they can survive and thrive in this AI era. And that means setting up all their teams, their tools, and rethinking the organization on how to do this. So we help companies figure out what their business might look like in 5 years from now, which is a very difficult exercise. But in 5 years from now, we're going to have free intelligence, probably superhuman AI capabilities. And thinking about how your business will be at that point in time is very interesting. And we help businesses figure out a way to get there.
Yeah, we're definitely in interesting times, and I'd be curious in terms of the work that you and your organization is doing, especially as you were talking about really accelerate, the transformation. Like, what are the biggest challenges you're finding working with these leaders right now, and talking about it, because you just mentioned that what it may look like, because no one knows, right?
Yeah, no one knows. It's a guess game. There's a few things that I think are pretty strong hypotheses. Like we know AI is going to get better. We know it's going to get cheaper. Those are almost like laws of physics in a way. But the exact timing is unknown, and how future business models will look like. You don't have to pretend to have all those answers, but at least you have a general direction. Now, the main challenge is most people, even some CEOs, don't get that. They don't understand this. They don't understand the threat as well as the opportunity. Because yes, it's a threat. If you don't do anything, you're very likely to be disrupted. But it's also a very good opportunity, because if you actually invest, maybe just 10% or something like that of your revenue, you have a strong advantage as an existing business compared to startups that are trying to build from nothing. You have clients, you have data, you have expertise, you have all those things to actually create a great AI product. But most unfortunately, not everybody's get it.
Yeah, I get that, and I guess I'm curious, and in terms of listening to what's happening, especially here at Web Summit, when it comes to you and your experience and a lot of the research you did within AI, what would be your unique point of view that you bring now, not only to this problem, and also with your clients?
Um, it's so AI is a multidisciplinary
Hmm.
problem. So I think what's unique at Ekohe is we have a very wide range of competencies. So it goes from design, even in how you do the human-machine interface, is very important. Of course, like back-end develop front and data science and all the product management and the consulting around that. So and I'm lucky to have been able to build along all those time a team and all the competencies together and working together, not as like siloed, separate companies that you have to coordinate. So that enables us to go much faster. And I think that's one of our secrets. I mean, it's not really a secret anymore, but it's just, but it's very, it took me a long time to actually put that team together.
So you've really you're spending all your time looking into the future and, maybe hallucinating, maybe, just guessing or predicting.
All the time.
What do you consider yourself doing in terms of being a future sort of visionary?
Reading is important. And yeah, I think reading is the best advice I could give. Maybe even science fiction in a way. Sometimes we can, think out of the box and whether this sci-fi movie or book can actually maybe become something of the future. Sometimes it also raises very good questions, ethical and, as well. Yeah, and also believing into it in a way. So you make some hypotheses, and of course it might not happen, or you don't really know when it will happen, but you're not like 1 or 2 years precise. Like you can wait a little bit.
Right.
You don't have to. It's not like a weather forecast. But then also really believing into it. So it's like, okay, you make a hypothesis, and then you're like, okay, no, this is going to happen. Now you build all those things, and you might be wrong, but that's also part of business, is taking risks.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess you have to try things and see that they don't work before you know whether they're going to work or not.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I guess there's the fact that well, if it can't happen right now today, it's still going to be possible or going to happen at some point.
Right, exactly. So it doesn't really matter if it happens this autumn or next year, as long as so the overall trends.
And what do you think about, say, the pace at which things are happening and how fast a company has to adapt or in terms of keep up?
So it's it's a really good question because it's exponential. Whether you're seeing the development of the AI technologies are going at an exponential rate.
Yeah.
And this is something that as humans we're already bad at grasping. Things that move at an exponential rate, because in nature most things are linear. But yeah, it's like a train we don't really see coming.
Yeah.
And then it's already,
That's a good one.
you just missed
Yeah.
it. So I think, AI and the singularity point, and I think we won't even see it passing. Oh, AI is doing its own research now, and it's like augmenting itself, and it's not like I'm not a pessimistic.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm more like an optimistic.
Yeah.
It's a choice in a way. I'm not really. I think we can unplug AI whenever we want now, so we don't really have that problem. But I think we're like at this point now. I mean, there has been some AI making research on its own and publishing papers already, and AI improving. I mean, AI working on, and the next NVIDIA chips is happening now.
Yeah.
Also on the algorithmic side, it's also doing some improvements. So yeah, it's already contributing to its own.
And do you think that it's possible at all for humans or businesses to adapt to exponential growth or
Yeah,
speed?
I think some large businesses, it's really tricky because you have to, when you have decades-long organizations that are large, you really need to rethink how the whole structure is set up, even how departments are siloed, and they make then necessarily don't even make any sense. And also, most of them are not even well adapted to the digital internet collaborative environment that's still structured in the pre-internet
Yeah.
era. So they are even behind previous technological transformations, I would say. And for them, it's really tricky because you have basically to get rid of a lot of people potentially, and maybe to hire different people, and you need to do this massive changes, which society is not ready for, is not ready to accept. So for those companies, it's really, really difficult. And we're already seeing this, and if you take traditional car manufacturers, they can't keep up. They're slowly dying, and so yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I guess, I'm asking, like, we've got technology advancing at the exponential speed, and we know that, like, companies inch along, and people, they're resistant to change. They like the way things have been done. So I'm thinking, like, actually nimble or adaptive companies probably don't need to be like on the sort of curve like this. They just need to be a little bit ahead and keep looking forward with some sort of plan.
yeah, I mean, if you just keep improving 1% per week, that's already it's an exponential because it compounds,
Right.
right? So it doesn't mean it has to change very quickly. It just
Yeah.
have to continuously change. But also, as humans, we're not gonna have like one education to educate yourself for one career and do this all our lives. Like it's it's not possible anymore because technological change is just happening very, very quickly,
Yeah.
more and more quickly. So we have to more like a continuous education and things like that. But AI will have that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully.
So what do you think about yourself and I don't know, just like your unique personality traits that have let you always be this adaptable or, this forward looking and
Yeah, I mean, in my background in software engineering, that's something you have to do. You always have to be curious and learn new things because this is an area that is always moving very quickly. There's always new languages, new ways of doing things. Um, but also, yeah, for my own business, I also have to always think about that. How do we stay at the edge? So also questioning ourselves, and we're also doing our own. Like I'm preaching these AI transformations to others,
Yeah.
but we're also doing that to ourselves because since it's almost 20 years now, we've been doing things the old way. So human keyboards, designing, coding, and mostly selling human time. But this will change with AI because in the next 5 years, most of what we do will be done by AI. So
yeah.
transforming ourselves from like a consulting model where we sell human time to selling our expertise and mostly executed by AI. And yeah, the cost of software will probably be divided by 10 or 100, I don't know, somewhere in that
Yeah.
range. So we have to have a much higher throughput to even keep the business as it is. And so we're working really hard in transforming ourselves to become an AI product. And that's really exciting in a way because it's a much better business model than just having to do all that work manually. It's tiring. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But if we can help build a machine that do the work for us, amazing. So I see it in a positive way, even though some people are asking me like, are you not scared? Like you're just shooting yourself in the foot by like replacing yourself with AI and all this, but I don't see it in that way.
And so that's what you see like Ekohe doing is building out an AI product that does what you're doing right now.
Yes. Oh, we have to.
Yeah.
Again, we have to because if we don't do it in the next 5 years, some people will come to us and be like, why we give you $10,000 and there's this other blah 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 product.com. They can do it for $100
Yeah.
instantly. So what are we going to be our answer to this?
Yeah.
And if I would be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, no, exactly. So then when your $10,000 offering now becomes a product that does it for $100 a
99,
month
yeah.
or whatever,
Mm.
where do you go so that you can still, be consulting at $10,000 for whatever? Like what's the next step for a company when they productize their offering?
Well, so the role of the team members will dramatically change. So we are a 50 people organization, so it's easy for us. We're not like thousands of
Yeah,
people,
that's
right? So for us, it's very easy to rethink of like, okay, now you're going to focus on more like client relationship, and you're going to look at this part of the model and make sure like set up the KPIs and improve the machine that does the work, and how you can put your expertise into it. So I think this is what most people will do, and then handle all the edge cases, and also bring a luxury human touch, maybe.
Yeah.
So the human touch will be the luxury bit, and maybe some people will be willing to pay 99 plus the human option. So how you can maybe we can make some parallel with some industrial products, where you can buy at IKEA some furniture, which is really nice and cheap and affordable, or you can go to an artisan and get something homemade, custom, that has a different craft and different qualities. So maybe you have the same thing for software. As I use it, so it feels like human made,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, just
And so do you just see it as like everyone's getting access to the same level of quality and standards that only some people had because of AI?
yeah. So it's the type of things we're thinking now
Yeah.
about how we. So it's not only about today. There's a lot of like Replete, Lovable. I don't know if you know those things, but you kind of prompt and code, and maybe you heard of type coding.
Yeah.
And that's producing a bit of random results, and
Yeah.
but we're thinking of something of much higher quality with a feedback loop, and with actually AI, QA, and UI, actually design AI experts that give feedback. And so when you actually get the software presented to you, it has already been tested and tried by AI, like as a loop. So we have, for example, if you want a software for a given persona, 40 to 50 years old, using this on the go, in the subway, and like a very given person, and then we'll have those AI tested in those, re-simulating those environments. And so when you see software for the first time, it has already been tested by AI for a few iterations. So you get something that is already it should be of a very high quality, and actually I want to see this now. I'm very curious to see this now, to see what it can produce, because it should be much better at what we're doing today.
Okay. And so, you talked about reading and science fiction and just the crazy different futures that whatever you could imagine. Was there anything that maybe as a kid you just were like, what if this could happen? Or, I wonder what the future would look like. And now you're just like, oh, it's happening.
That's a good question. I don't think too much about that. What I was dreaming of as a kid. I think, maybe as a kid we were thinking a lot of like flying cars, Back into the Future type of stuff, And I guess you heard that quote saying like, we were expecting flying cars and we got 140 characters.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly what we expected, but and I think maybe some people are disappointed about what the future has delivered so far, because we don't see all those things necessary in the past 20 years. All the innovation has mostly been on a screen. Of course, we have Uber and stuff like that. It brings a lot of convenience, but I think in the day-to-day, not as much as maybe we wanted. But I think robotics will change a lot of that. So we start to see those humanoid are being built now, and they're entering maybe in terms of maturity. Um, they're going to get much cheaper, and they're very versatile, and so you will be able to program them to do everything that what humans can do because they have the same shape. So I think that might unlock a lot of many things. I think people have been expecting can I get my coffee done? Can I get all those things? So if the price point gets to a level that becomes affordable, then I think it will change a lot of.
So your childhood vision is still coming. It's like in the pipeline.
Yeah, but I think and it's slowly.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
But I mean, still having that optimism that you said, like the future is going to be really good, or this like there's still so much possibility. Like, what do you think that optimism you bring? Like, how do you keep that alive in companies that are really pessimistic?
Well, if you're pessimistic in your business, like you've given up already. So why are you still around in a way? Just do something else.
Yeah.
Right? Or because there's no point in staying around.
Yeah.
Almostly, if you're already given up.
Yeah.
So for me, being pessimistic is giving up. But we can also see this for example, for things like climate change. We can be pessimistic and trying to limit a lot of different things. We should not do this. We should not do that. We should, being very negative about all the things and limit a lot of things, which I'm not saying we should not do, but I prefer the other side of what can technology do?
Yeah.
Right? What it can enable? Maybe AI can discover and engineer some bacteria or whatever organisms that could change a lot of things. So I prefer that side of things, what technology can do, more than going backwards and stopping, limiting.
Maxime, it's been amazing, and for me, when my key takeaways, and for me, I'm also on the optimistic. I'm excited. We're in interesting times, if anything, especially for those who came up with the internet. Like, it's just been, as you said, exponential. The experience may still be on the screen, but I think the worlds are night and day from the 90s, from the pre-internet, the internet bubble. I'd love it if you, in terms of, just before I close off, if you could share any final thoughts, advice, recommendations, to those founders, those CEOs, those business leaders who are now just thinking about, I think AI is here to stay. Like, what would be your advice to be them if they're just curious about it right now?
Yeah, don't be afraid of rethinking your entire business from scratch, and refocus on what are you actually delivering, what is the value of your business, and think about how you will differentiate yourself to another in the future. And especially if you have some history, there's a way of doing something, almost like a personality. Like a company is kind of a virtual agent of some sort.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like a huge ship that is already in some kind of direction. Even if you change the CEO, companies kind of stay in that same momentum. So try to understand that and what it would mean in the future. It's a bit abstract.
I like it though.
But yeah.
I like it.
I'm glad.
That's amazing. I mean, like I said, Maxime, this is great. Having folks like you really guiding people and who are trying to navigate this, especially on the optimistic side, right? And to empower them and do that. We wanted to take this time actually before we let you go. We wrote this. We went to Collision last year. We interviewed founders, CEOs like yourself. And what we got inspired, and we actually wrote a book called Future Narrator for those who are like
Amazing.
really building the future,
you.
creating the vision. And we want to present that to you. So thank you for guiding everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business
Thank you for
Leadership
inviting
Podcast.
me.
You are listening to the Business Leadership Podcast with Edwin Frondozo.